Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of our presentation series on JD Edwards Business Service Integration, presented by eFlux. My name is Saad Faisal and I am going to be your host for this series. In part 1, we covered the outline of our entire presentation along with hands-on steps to create our data structure for our business function. In this part, we will now take a close look at how to create our business function in C language and especially the XRCS API in JD Edwards that allows your business function to prepare and process XML packet for communication with the business service. So let's continue from where we left off in part 1 and continue our development for business function. Okay, so here in OMW you can see that we have our data structure created from part 1. So let's continue to create our business function. Click on the add icon. On the Add Enterprise Object to the project screen, select Business Function under Object Librarian Objects and press OK button. Next, on the Add Object screen, provide name for our business function. Give it also a detailed description. As this is a custom object, so let's provide 55 as the product code. Let's keep the source language as C and let's keep function location as client/server, and finally press OK to save your changes. On the business function design screen, let's switch to design tools and let's click on start business function design aid. Okay, so here in the next screen, we first need to name our business function. Let's name it Verify UK Address Service. Once we have named our business function, we now need to connect our data structure to our business function to specify what input and output parameter our business function will provide. Click on the Parameters button under the row toolbar hierarchy. On the Select Business Function Parameter screen, let's search for our data structure. Let's provide 55 for our system code filter and press Enter. In the search result, let's select our data structure and press the Select button. We missed one small detail. Let's also provide description for our business function. This description will be displayed in our C business function code. Next, we need to create our source files for our business function. Let's now switch to Form Toolbar hierarchy and press the Create button. We will be prompted for confirmation on creation of source file. So let's click on Yes button on the next two dialogs. Press OK on the next dialog. Next, we need to take our data structure and generate its C language equivalent data structure. But before that, let's open our generated code in Visual Studio. Click on Edit button. This will launch our generated skeleton code in Visual Studio. So here you can see that JD has automatically generated skeleton code for our C header and source file along with extensive comments to help us make further modifications much easier. Shortly we will be modifying the source code, but for now let's return back to OMW. As I said earlier, we now need to generate our C language code for our data structure. Switch to row toolbar hierarchy and click on Type Def button. You can see that at the bottom it says your type def is in the clipboard. So now let's switch to Visual Studio. In our header file for our business function, paste the generated data structure code under the comment DS template type definitions. You can see that JD Edwards has generated the C structure definition and gave it the same name as our data structure, along with prepending it with tag DS string. Also, you can see that all of the members of our data structure have been defined here with respective sizes for easier access. Let's now save our header file by pressing the Save button. Now we need to include the XRCS API header file under the external business function header inclusions. Also, in case of an error during our processing, we will be using the DE954,000 data structure to be used with Workcenter API calls. So let's paste the structure here. Now let's take a close look at our business function source code. Here you can see a traditional signature of a JD Edwards business function. The most noticeable item in the signature line is our data structure parameter, which is passed in as a pointer. Next, you can see a number of variables here prefixed with XRCS data types that we're going to use shortly for constructing our XML communication objects. For our business service, this includes XRCS underscore H parser that act as the main handle to our XRCS parser and all XRCS calls. Next is XRCS underscore status variable that provides more info on every XRCS call status, whether success or failure. Then XRCS H document that serves as the handle for our main XML communication object document. And finally, XRCS underscore H element data type that defines any specific node within our XML document. Now let's move further ahead and dive further into our code. Here you can see a traditional business function code where you need to ensure that all the required parameters to our business function are not null and return appropriate error using JDE error set API call in case any one of the parameters are null. Then moving ahead, our first primary API call for XRCS is the XRCS underscore init engine, which initializes the API library. Success for this call is critical for moving any further. Then we retrieve the handle to our XRCS XML parser using the XRCS underscore get parser and pass it to our handle to XRCS parser object. Next, using our handle to parser, we will now create a handle to our XRCS XML document object using XML string object by calling XRCS underscore parse XML string API function. Speaking of XML document object, let's take a look at this XML string that is used to construct our XML document object. Here you can see the source XML string. This typical XML string will serve as the communication packet for sending and receiving information to our business services Java objects. Currently this XML string holds a skeleton XML schema. However, shortly we will take a look at further API calls from XRCS to insert data in XML entities by retrieving them from our business function data structure that we saw in the signature earlier. So back to our XML document construction. Now that we have constructed our document object from XML string, we are now ready to manipulate it by retrieving the root node from our XML document using the XRCS underscore get document element function. Then, once we have our root element node, we need to retrieve the child XML node sz-town name using the XRCS underscore get elements by tag name function so that we can set it based on the passed in parameter inside our business function data structure. Next, using the XRCS underscore set element text, we now set our retrieved element to our passed in town name from our data structure by the user. So now that we have set our values inside our XML packet, it is time to prepare it for the delivery to our business service by serializing it and making a new XML string object. Finally, we are now ready to send our XML packet to our business service using the JDE call business service API call by providing 4 important parameters. Number 1, the fully qualified class name for our business service. Number 2, our class method name. Number 3, our XML communication packet. Number 4, and our return payload that will contain response from our business service. At this point, our synchronous call to our business service will be executed and we will retrieve our response in our return payload object. Similar to the steps of sending XML, we will pretty much utilize the same steps but in reverse direction. In general, we now need to deserialize our return payload and retrieve the returned county name and postcode so that we can send them back in our business function data structure member variables. So let's quickly go over these steps. Number 1, we will first retrieve our handle to XML document object by parsing our return payload. Then we will retrieve the root element of our XML document. Next, we will retrieve all child nodes inside our root element. Next, we will start traversing these child nodes and identify our required nodes SZ county name and SZ postcode and retrieve their values and place them back in our data structure using the JDE strncpy terminate API call. For the final cleanup steps, we will now release our objects for the XRCS API. This concludes our implementation for our business function. Let's quickly build our business function to ensure that everything is implemented properly. Let's return back to OMW. Select our business function object. Then click on Design Tools tab and then press the Build Business Function button. This will launch the Bus Build utility and it will build our business functions successfully, and that is without any error messages. This concludes second part of our presentation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.